Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, John and Mike Zakarian filling in again. We had to run it back with the good luck charm. Last Wednesday, we were able to take this one down, all due to the expertise of our good friend Mike. So we had to bring him back in here, break down this unabated NBA 6-game slate today, and we got ourselves an LOL hoops with 19 O's to start it all off, Mike.
First of all, how good are the paternity like benefits here at Badge Bros? It's been off for like a couple of weeks. Let's go.
It's been a month and a half actually. It's actually where Underdog's all new Val and funding is going towards is Nez's pat leave. Just making sure he's nice and cozy.
I do want to say, so I was here exactly a week ago. So a week ago today, I got a notification that it had $82 in rake back, and then you won $8,000. A week later, I get a notification this morning that hurry up, you better use your rake back or they're going to take it away, and that you didn't win $8,000 yet, but Underdog won a 1 point whatever billion dollars. So Underdog, do me a favor. Can you spend a little money so I can spend a little money? Can we get that done, guys? I can't do math, but it feels like a very small fraction of what we just however valuations work. Let me spend my rake back, fellas.
Yeah, I'm not a big math guy either, Mike, but all the news is going like this for
Yeah,
everybody but Big Mike Z right now. So
it's incredible. I almost like Happy Gilmore'd my cell phone when it was like you only have 7 days left to use your rake back, and I was like, I'm not too far from the offices. All right, I will start my own protest. Okay, I will get out there,
uh,
guys.
Oh man, I have no idea on the legal side of things. I have no idea on timelines and stuff. But this has to be a bullish benchmark in underdog history to lead to the great state of New York finding its way back onto the platform.
Yeah, I would think so. Only the state of New York could rain on this like $1.2 billion parade. Like it's only good news, and yet you bring on a guy from New York that's like, let me draft.
Nice. Oh, perfectly timed. We got to stay grounded. We got to stay grounded around here.
Right.
But yeah, all in all, beautiful day on the platform there. If people saw the news that was floating around, Rudman had a really nice tweet that just kind of solidified and doubled, tripled down on the notion that hey, man, we'll always remember our roots of the draft game crowd and take care of you guys. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's great news. That's great
Yeah,
news. And better news, another insane NBA slate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll start with last night there because we got some shout outs to deliver. I admittedly volume has been down the last 2 days there as I make this push for 150 in the dingers here. And by the looks of it, Mike, there's something else in the lobbies right now that might slow up that push because we got MLB opening day dailies going live
Wow.
as well right now. So there's a whole bunch of baseball to draft. There's a whole bunch of NBA to draft. This is gonna be fun. I got 17 dingers to go, and you bet your ass I'm going for it tonight. I'm pounding the coffee here. I'm gonna get this shit done for the people.
MLB dailies. I was a little late to last season, and then I think in June, once finally the NBA Finals was settled, I got in, and I think I like podiumed like 3 times in the first week, and I was like, "This is an easy fucking game."
These idiots have no idea what they're doing right
And
now.
and I think you even gave me a shout out one time, and it's like, yeah, it's game theory, man. You apply the strategy to a different sport. And I was like, you're damn right, John. I'm glad the faucet's not being turned off. And then I think I got smoked. I don't know if I had a profitable slate again after that. It was incredible.
I mean, baseball's very, very fun. It's obviously very high variant because literally on any given night, the equivalent of 8 G Leaguers, 76ers team can
Oh,
find their way to 11 runs and break a slate, right? And it's
right.
more probabilistic outcome than 140 points from the 76ers in a 20-point blowout or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah.
NBA, I've been doing it long enough too, and just like talking about it that I've kind of eliminated some fandom. Like I'm still a Boston Celtics fan, but I'm not like, oh, I need to make sure I get Tatum in the like. I don't care about that. But for baseball, I'm like, I could probably just get a Red Sox stack in. Like I would just do that
I,
every single slate, get way overweight, just like an idiot.
yeah, like I don't have to roll a specific draft slot to get a Red Sox stack in here
Right.
because if I miss out on the first guy, well, guess what? There's 8 more I could select here at the back end.
Yoshida's going undrafted, baby. Let's go get
Yeah.
Yoshida.
Yeah, exactly. I did see that you were doing some so rare MLB stuff this morning. They're king of the Web 3.0 contests right now.
That's right.
Yeah, yo, is that going to become a staple for you going forward in MLB season?
Yeah, I'm trying to gauge like expectations, both of the people who watch the content and myself of like what I can take on. Because I also like, admittedly, I know baseball, but I like basketball. I can talk out of my ass about it. And like
Mhm.
we understand the rotations. I know rotations right now for NBA are a little stupid because of the silly season of it all. But for the most part, you got a feel for like the rotations.
Yeah,
MLB, I feel like I gotta expand my brain a little bit so I know everybody on every team. So
yeah,
I'm
fair
trying
enough.
to. I am gonna try to do like a twice a week thing around it, since the way their game weeks lock, it's like on a Monday goes like Monday to Thursday is a game week, and then Friday to Sunday is a game week. So I'm gonna try
Right.
to do like two bits of things just to stay focused, stay relevant.
I love it. No, man, that's cool. I love it. Warm, open hugs and acceptance to anyone doing MLB content because, man, we need more of it. It's fun out here.
Yeah.
Um, let's move over to last night in the hoop streets. As I alluded to, been focused up on the dingers, so only got 16 in the main last night. I just jammed a whole bunch of Najee Marshall at lock. But people of the community doing work out here. Shout out to our guy Justin, top fantasy plays,
Yeah.
living up to the name with the 7K here, getting that Scottie Pippen Jr. swap there. Yeah, he was a really good late round pick later in the day. That was the Amon Thompson swap there. Yeah, Jalen Green was popping in the unabated stuff. It was a surprise that you didn't need Najee Marshall in the winning lineup because he had a 50 burger as well. But a lot of 50 burgers all slammed together here from Justin.
That's pretty high scoring considering the people in that lineup.
Right. Yeah.
Like you wouldn't on a normal night. That's like 4 6 rounders in there, and that's a high scoring slate.
Mhm.
I didn't even. I'll be honest. I didn't even touch the Memphis Utah game last night or even look at it. All I saw was Desmond Bain throwing Santi Aldama onto the bench. That's the only thing that I saw. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't see it. Tell
Out
me.
of a timeout, just gave he like he with whatever arm length he has, gave Santi a little shove down to the bench during a timeout. It's weird. That was
Wow.
the only
Yeah.
clip of the game I saw.
Desmond Bain, compact bench press guy, short arms, close to chest, like a travel motion only about this far. So you can imagine that push had a little bit of force behind it.
You just can't get too close.
Oh man. Oh man, do we have boots on the ground here? Mathology. Tatum is here at the Celtics shoot around and changing into his workout sneakers. What in the world?
Also,
Is
wait,
this
hold on.
boots on the ground mathology? What is going on here?
Yeah, why is Mathology and shoot around? That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't care about Tatum playing. What are you doing?
Yeah, this is incredible. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is I agree with Nick here. This is going to be an absolute I will say, so we could talk about pivot into today's slate. So obviously the biggest news that has taken place in about the last hour here and people jumping into drafts immediately is the fact that Joker has been listed as a Q tag now on the most recent injury report. He's moved from a doubtful tag to a Q tag, and he has instantly begun starting going like 7, 8-ish in drafts, and now I've seen him going as high as like 3 and 4 here behind the Luca and LeBron tier. I jumped in right when I got the unabated notification to 5 drafts. Obviously, you just get into those lobbies, and it's the sickest of the sick. It's Buster Boys and the gang all trying to do the fucking same thing. I was lucky enough to get one Luca plus Joker team. But outside of that, yeah, it is going to be a Giannis at 102 is just going to all swap to Joker if Joker goes this evening.
Now, I was here last week and Joker was questionable, and I was pretty confident he was going to play, and of course he didn't. Why would they run him out tonight? That's the one thing I don't understand.
I
Like,
don't get
why
it.
you got the free pass to just like give him another day of rest? Like, this is a win. Like, Kyle Kuzma was not, carrying the torch here for the Milwaukee Bucks. So like, I don't know why they would do it, but it does. I mean, the upgrade midday is obviously a promising sign. So I would lean that he goes, but I just don't get why.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, all these games matter for them in terms of the standings and chasing down that upper echelon, 2 seed. It's still within their kind of like grasp right now, but they have tonight non-national TV, which was kind of odd for a Giannis Joker game, but you got to get
And
the Celtics and Phoenix on national TV for whatever reason.
thank God.
But yeah, but they so non-national TV tonight at home versus Milwaukee. Obviously, no Dame and Giannis with the out tag now. They play Friday against Utah at home as well. Then they have the weekend off. They have Saturday and Sunday off by the looks of it, and Monday. So they don't play again until home on Tuesday on TNT. And their game at home on Friday is Utah. So you could conceivably sit Joker tonight and Friday and get him basically a full week's rest until next Tuesday. Now
Who do,
the sorry, go
who do
ahead.
you think is the more formidable opponent right now? Formidable. Uh, the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis and Dame, or the Utah Jazz?
I think the Jazz, if they run out their like 1B lineup, like if you get, you're not going to get Collins, but if you get Kessler, Clarkson, and kind of like that 1B lineup, it kind of looks a bit better than Kuzma, Brook Lopez, Gary Trent, and
Yeah.
Kevin Porter Jr. tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, to the chat, like I also think Jokic is going to play. I just don't really understand it. I don't understand it, especially after Malone said he was doubtful initially. I don't, and then to again, like with the way the schedule lines up, I don't know. I mean, unless he's just like, hey, I'm ready to go. Gordon's questionable too. I know we'll go game by game, so we can save it. But maybe
Mhm.
they think one of those guys is going to sit, so they could use the beef.
Yeah, I think maybe the fact that they ran DeAndre Jordan into the ground in back-to-back games, they're on a back-to-back. So like him not being quote unquote full, even though he's not listed on the injury report. And then the fact that Gordon, who missed the second end of the back-to-back, has a Q tag, and Michael Porter Jr. has a Q tag now, that maybe their ailments are, you
Yeah.
know, like actual, opposed to getting Joker another, couple days of rest.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I also, man, I forgot 5th round DeAndre Jordan drafters right now. Ouch.
Right.
Ouch.
Yeah. Like I mean this ADP landscape is insane right now. Just in
Yeah.
terms of like the landmines all the way throughout it. Like even if you're worried about like I mean I wouldn't be like aren't you worried about Joker swaps to Giannis because it's kind of like a one for one in terms of like projection I imagine. I mean
Mhm.
obviously rather have Joker ever so slightly, but a lot of those teams that swap are going to be dead because they're going to have Russell Westbrook's ADP that was at 24. They're going to have DeAndre Jordan's ADP that was at like 20. Like we're looking at dudes who might not play north of 20, 22 minutes now. It could still break right for Russ, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a Russ drafter, you're just hoping Gordon sits or Porter sits, like, and then that'll have the cushion there. But yeah, gross stuff.
Yeah, very, very much so there. Where do you think you would take Joker for the remainder of the day here? I see guys in the chat saying he's going at 3, that sort of thing. I mean, the Knicks just came back with their injury report, and we have no listing for Cat, who played very well. We were talking about it last time that we were
Mhm.
together, that we hadn't seen a Cat ceiling game in a minute. Now, Clippers not the greatest spot in the world for anyone, let alone opposing fives, but or 4.5s, whatever you want to call here. But back to back 50 burgers here. Where would you be slotting in Q Tag Joker amongst this top tier?
Yeah, I think if he's consistently going 3, I think that's fine. I think that's where I would take him. Um, I don't think you need to go ahead and put him ahead of LeBron. I mean, there's part of me that's like, man, why don't you just put him at 1, let it rip? like, and just that's how I'll combat this. I'll just get as much as possible, and hopefully that eases the pain when I see the winning lineup is a Luka Joker lineup.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so I wouldn't hate that, but I think there's a clear drop. I know Cat just went nutsos the other night, but I think the Clippers matchup is a little bit different. I don't really need. I know KD's also been playing out of his mind. Halliburton looks good, and he's at home in a pretty favorable matchup. But it's freaking Jokic. So if you are of the mindset that he plays, I do think there is something. Again, I do think he's playing, but I saw somebody in the chat being like, I might just fade Jokic at this point. I don't even think that's the worst idea either. Because again, it's still a Q tag in a weird spot. I don't know.
Yeah, I do think it is. I don't think it's gal brain. I mean, it's really scary to fade Joker and whatever he projects for, right? Especially if you end up with like Gordon out or Michael Porter Jr. out as well. The counter to that is from a game theory perspective. If you're just taking Joker at 2 over and over again, you're just kind of like swapping in. You're just building out the same teams that all those Giannis drafters are going to be swapping into. So you got to be thinking about doing it in a more contrarian fashion. That being probably Bucks that those Giannis teams were not taking, because there's a little bit of leverage in like, pushing up Brook Lopez or Kuzma in that instance, because a Giannis drafter wouldn't have been doing so. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible idea to just, okay, let's hope he only plays 27 tonight and they take care of business and don't need to push him.
I mean, that's a real possibility, right? Because this Milwaukee team is neutered and Jokic hasn't played in like, what is it, like 10 days, maybe even longer?
I think.
Yeah. So, and I know he doesn't need to be in incredible shape to play 35 minutes the way he plays, but I wouldn't be stunned if you have a bunch of outs, right? You have an out that they beat the crap out of him and he only plays 3 quarters and he gets 45 points, and that doesn't kill you, right? And a minute restriction, and he still probably gets 45 fantasy points, and that doesn't kill you.
Yeah, 20-minute restriction. Here, the cheese is in the chat here. Corey saying that he just saw a Luka plus Joker. So I mean, if you are in the right rooms right now, like just always be drafting. Evergreen reminder from our guy Nick: always be drafting, because he does have a 32.9 ADP. So if you roll a couple rooms right now where there's non-badgers or there are people who haven't set ranks and they're just drafting off ADP, you can still obtain that combo right now.
I think the real alpha is you need to know which people from New York are setting their ranks in New Jersey, autoing, and then going, and then those are the drafts you need to get in, because they might not have the opportunity to adjust the ranks. They might be underground on the train or driving.
That's Nick right now. That is literally. Oh shit. Yeah, that's kind of the big one there. There is the James Harden Q tag as well. He's kind of hovering in that 9 through 13 range right now, Mike. I imagine if we got the green active tag, his ADP would basically just flip with Kawhi, and then Kawhi would kind of be in this back little area. But I think the ADPs are hedged right now, pending the James Harden scenario. Do you have a read on it? Any insight, any information that you would like to share on that one?
I'm having a tough time reading this line. Because it opened at 1.5, jumped to 4.5, which would be like, oh, maybe that means he is in. But I also like Knicks on a back-to-back. Maybe that's why the line's inflated a little bit. I'm kind of surprised to see the Clippers favored by 4.5. I guess is what I would say. On the road, favored by 4.5 seems kind of spicy. I don't know.
Yeah, and like just anecdotally speaking, doesn't Harden seem like a guy who wants to play in the Garden?
Yeah, I imagine like he wouldn't want to play tomorrow, but that he'd play tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, we can hit on that one. The Clippers have had 2 days rest coming into this one. They are the most rested team on the slate. Everybody else has had 1 day of rest except for the New York Knicks, who have now filed their injury report. Miles McBride is out there this evening, and obviously Jalen Brunson is still out there. So the only back-to-back is the Knicks this evening. And then tomorrow's games, we are going to have front-end back-to-backs this evening for the Washington Wizards, the Indiana Pacers, who are playing each other tomorrow, and then the Lakers get this suddenly surging Chicago team who embarrassed them last time out. They get them tomorrow in Chicago. So front end for the Lakers, Pacers, and Wizards, back end for the Clippers to summarize there. Yeah, I'm looking at Clippers I imagine they play Friday. They Clippers play Friday at Brooklyn. So I don't know. Maybe that one means a little something to Harden too, a little bit of revenge narrative there. But I would think that if I'm the schedule guy, we travel to the East Coast. I've had 2 days rest. I'm gonna want to play in the Garden against the Knicks on their
Yeah.
back to back, and then take off the game against Brooklyn if I need a game to take off.
The only sweat I have left right now is the double dribble, and I need James Harden to have the energy that you just brought out there. I need Harden to play this game, and then I need Ty Lue to be like, "Hey, you can sit Friday if you want against Brooklyn," and he's like, "Nah, give me Brooklyn." That's what I need. I need Harden for the first time in his career to have that dog in him.
Right. Outside of the strip club.
Yeah.
I need that on the court dog
Yeah.
in him. Not
The foul line is your pole tonight, Harden. Go to work.
Nice. Oh man. Okay, I think we could jump over to Unabated, do the little game by game thing here, but I guess the last one to talk about. Oh, here you go. So this is still happening in the chat, as we alluded to. Spike just saying like he's still getting that Luka paired with Joker. Now is the time to be drafting. Always be drafting. Get in there. But Ricky's asking, how many Tatum? Too much Tatum. I I don't know about this one. I'm looking at their schedule. It's something we talked about last time. As I pull it up here, they are on their longest West Coast swing of the season here. I think Tatum had the Q tag last time out, ended up playing through it. It's just it seems like a natural break rest spot. I know it's nationally televised. It just they had at Utah, at Portland, at Sacramento. Those were back to backs and 3 and 4 nights. Now they have Phoenix. Now they have the Spurs and Memphis Saturday, Monday. So I kind of read it as, hey, we've had 3 on the road and a back to back that Tatum played. If Jalen's back up to full now, which he wasn't previously, and we've talked about the fasting and the Ramadan and all that sort of stuff, if he's good enough to go and Holiday's good enough to go and those guys can run tonight, that then he plays the last 2 on the road trip and then they come home.
Yeah, I mean, the Celtics could essentially win the rest of their games and nothing would change, and lose the rest of their games and nothing would change. Like, they're going to be the 2 seed in the East. Tatum has been doing, like you mentioned, with Jaylen Brown missing time, Zinger missing time. He's been doing a lot of the legwork. The only things that stick out that maybe he could play is that Mathology apparently is related to Brad Stevens and is at the Phoenix Arena right now. Also, Tatum was on. I can't believe I'm referencing the Kelsey Bro podcast.
Oh yeah.
But basically, it was like, yeah, man, it's good to be young. Like, feeling pretty good already. And he's also come out and said he doesn't want to be missing games. Like, Tatum wants to continue playing and stay in that rhythm. That being said, I don't think he plays tonight. Like, I don't think he does. If you are doing 150, and you wanna fire 5 into the 6-round world of Jason Tatum, I don't know. Go for it.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest takeaway here is, like, as Ricky's saying here, it's like it's 2% ownership. It's hey, you could have a Joker, Tatum, Murray, and then you could just tack him on for free in the 6th round. Yeah, I don't think it's the worst idea in the world because it is a D tag, not an out tag. I do think like that, but I do also think this is classic reading into what just took place in front of us and being like, holy shit, can this happen again? Like, like everybody's like, well, I missed the Joker D tag. I should have been taking him in the 6th, when like this is a pretty rare occurrence in the NBA. Yeah. I'm not as sure we're going to get 2 of them on the same night. Day. Yeah. But if you want to just go ahead and throw Tatum in there in the 6th round for 1 or 2, I'm not going to fault you from a game theory standpoint. Why not?
We take a couple of shots at Wemby. Live a little,
right. Oh man. All right, let's move on over to the beautiful interface that is Unabated, our home for hoops here. 6-game slate with 2 tankathon battles out here, and then obviously 2 nationally televised games, and then the LOL hoops in the middle, and a pace up highest total on the slate environment that involves Luca and LeBron, and nobody's really getting to it outside of like 3 pieces. I don't know if there's something else there. We'll talk about it all as we get to it. Let's start first with Dumpster Bowl number 1. Could be slop it up fest of the night here. Wizards and Sixers with a 230. Sixers as 3-point home favorites here. I am counting 10 active bodies for the Sixers this evening. I think Okoki's 10 days up. I haven't seen anything about them re-signing him. So if they have Quentin Grimes back tonight, which all things point to yes, because he's not on the injury report, and there's no Q tags here, without Lonnie Walker, basically taking out Kelly Oubre and Lonnie Walker from this, I'm counting 10 available for this evening on their side. And then on the Wizards side, we're dealing with all the out tags in which we had been dealing with, but then we have a Q tag on Anthony Gill, and then we have added now Balil Coulibaly, Keyshawn George, Chris Middleton, and Marcus Smart to the out tags here. So there's a wide variety of ways this could break, Mike, in terms of lineups that we get, in terms of rotations and minutes that we get here. Will you have targets from this game? Are there players you are interested in this evening here?
If Quentin Grimes is a go, he should get 1,000 points tonight, right? Like this is a dream spot for him. Why rest him the other night? Because you can't win that game, but then you play him tonight. Like against a worse team in the Wizards. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're just like, it doesn't matter who we roll out there. Washington will find a way to get this L. So Quentin Grimes, sure, suit up.
Yeah.
I hate this. I hate talking about it. I hate looking at the names. The fact that we're like, oh man, Okiki's 10 days up. Angel Reese's bro, Alex Reese is going to be out there for a little bit. Like, I don't know. I think for me, it's Grimes, Edwards, Butler, and then I would stop. Like, I'm not messing around with anything else there. Even the Yabuselis of the world. I don't think I want to get there. And then the Wizards, you just gave an Anthony Gill update. Like that's where we're at. I don't think you can trust anybody. Like even SAR's minutes got a little yanked around. I guess they still got him to 31, but it's not like he's screaming with a ton of minutes. And Poole, same thing. They're getting like the Toronto treatment, right? So it's kind of it's tough. It's tough to like get to anything over there. Although on paper it looks nice, right? Close spread, a decent total, but feels gross.
Yeah, I agree with your take on the guys that I'd play whack-a-mole with on the Sixers side, primarily Butler and Edwards. I think you could maybe do a Ricky Council thing. I do think there's also Galbrain. They could start limiting the contract of Jeff Doughton as well. Like he's not playable unless he starts, but if he does start, we've seen him crush from a rates perspective there. Yeah, Wizards side, I clicked Poole's name one time because I think on a slate like this, or at least the way I was envisioning it previously, like 25 minutes of Poole in a smash spot to get you 40 fantasy points was like within the spectrum of reasonable at one point. But yeah, Bub Carrington and Vucevic in the last round, if they both end up starting, could be like 28 to 31 minute guys in a close game. But I think it's kind of just Sar on the Wizards side that you feel okay about right now.
Yeah, that's the only one I feel comfortable with. Because even Vucevic too, like he's not like his minutes get yanked around. It really is. It's just guesswork.
Yeah. Shout out to our guy Justin Long from Unabated, there last night's champion, coming in here with 10 gifted Badge Bros members. Much appreciated from the top fantasy plays there. Mad respect. Thank you so much, my friend. We'll leave that up there for a little bit. Just flex that out for a little bit so anyone rolling through knows what's up. All right, Mike, let's move on here. Lakers and Pacers. This one, obviously Luka and Braun going at the top, Hallie going at the top there. Outside of that, Turner and Siakam go every single draft. But I was really thinking that everybody else in this game would be getting some auxiliary love in the last round, just given that it's the fastest pace and it's the highest total game on the slate. And there is that baked in back-to-back thing for the Lakers side where, they non-zero chance if something breaks the wrong way. I know we don't like to play for blowout or whatever, but if something breaks the wrong way at an isolated moment, that we could see some extended run from some backup guys. A long-winded way of me saying TJ McConnell, but I'm just kind of like thinking out loud the way in which I was kind of surprised that the highest total game, people would rather play whack-a-mole on Wizards pieces than just go ahead and click like Benny Math or Nemhard or something like that, where the minutes floor, the rates won't necessarily be there, but the minutes floor safer in the last round.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that too. I guess like it's just with them being relatively healthy now for the Pacers, right? I think Isaiah Jackson was like the only guy that was dinged up. They're just running out so many dudes, so maybe it's hard to get that ceiling. Mathurin would be the one that I like. That would be the scroll I'd be most interested in. Also, I think Neesmith is going to be out there a ton tonight as long as he stays out of foul trouble because they're going to need him, and we've seen
Yeah.
Neesmith be able to fill it up a little bit. Yeah, I guess I'm surprised by that too. I'm not. The slate is just so weird. Like the ADPs don't seem real. Like
Mhm.
I like. Are you clicking Yabusele before you take a shot on a pacer? Again, you mentioned Vucevic, like Carrington, Kevin Porter Jr. Like I don't really know. I'm surprised nobody else is popping over there either. Also, just some love to the Pacers, man. Pacers are
Mhm.
legit. They are legit.
Yeah.
They're a legit team right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially for people in your dance contests and stuff there. I mean, a little cheeky pacer stack is still really affordable because people just don't think they could win for some reason. And yet they took the Knicks to 7 last year and took care of business.
Yeah. Also,
Um
Weisberg did a full 180 here in the chat. Maybe Mathology was onto something. I got to put more respect onto his name.
uh-oh.
Let's get Tatum going, baby.
So we got videos going around right now of Tatum practicing right now. Doesn't look hobbled or in pain. Tatum in the last round. Full 180. Wow. Wow. Ricky
I
Lee
love.
was way ahead of his time
Wow.
on D-tag Tatum in the 6th.
Wow.
Holy
It-
shit. This would be peak LOL hoops season if while we're debating, should we play fucking Bub Carrington in the 6th? And we could have just had Jason Tatum all fucking day.
right? And guess what? You can still have. Oh no, you can't because sorry, he's a doubtful tag. I was like, you could still have Bub Carrington, but no, you couldn't. You'd get a 0 right there. Um, yeah, I
Oh
love it.
my god.
It should be a rest day though. Nick is right. Like he legit should not play. There's no reason for him to play tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I
What
I
happened,
don't know.
John?
Like I'm looking at this
Oh,
from Chris's. I'm confused by what Chris is trying to say here. He says if he still has the D tag at lock, he swaps to Norm Powell. No, you don't get swaps on D tags.
right.
That's the thing. There's no swaps on D tags. Yeah. Never mind. Okay, got it. All right, there you go. Yeah, there's no swaps on D tags, or else we would just jam them every single time. They'd be the best picks on the board, always. Okay. Let's move on here. Let's talk about I don't know, like we kind of covered who you could click on in the back end of drafts from this one. I do think it's just notable to mention that Rui and Braun have probable tags. They've both been playing through probable tags, but just the fact that they're probable and not just like flat ass in. But both these teams look super, super full, just in terms of like the bodies available this evening comparative to other spots. First of the nationally televised game is Knicks and Clippers. Clippers 4-point favorites on the road here. Second night of a back-to-back for the Knicks. This is a 218.5, which isn't surprisingly the lowest total on the slate. It is the second lowest in terms of pace as well. The worst pace is this next Raptors Nets game that we will talk about there. Yeah, and then on the back-to-back factors with the Knicks, they have already ruled out Miles McBride, and they are still without Jalen Brunson. Their Q tags listed on a couple G leaguers who, I mean, it's Tibbs. They won't factor into the rotation. Anyways, their campaign been playing some big minutes, not getting drafted, and has been starting. there for them. But right now, there is 4 Knicks going in every single draft, and there are 3, sometimes 4 Clippers going in every single draft. The one thing I will say about the James Harden Q tag this evening is the swaps are pretty clean if you want to get to Norm Powell, because I do not see him getting drafted a ton. Although we know most of the usage and scoring output will probably funnel by way of Kawhi and Zubac. So thoughts on this one, my friend?
Yeah, I like the Clippers side. I think a little bit more than the Knicks side. Like I know it's not the sexiest of totals, but the Knicks don't play a ton of defense, and yeah, I like all of those. I think that's a great point about just taking Harden and then hoping you could just swap clean to Powell. I think Zubac should have a field day today. Although I just saw that notification there on the screen that Mitchell Robinson is going to be back, but
Yep.
I love Zubac in these matchups with or without Harden. I think he should do a ton of work. That it's just still so crazy seeing his ADP now like regularly being this high.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, on the Knicks side of things, I don't really know, man. I don't love that they're on a back to back only because they've looked physically tired, right? Like that Knicks team it's not been the same juice without Brunson. And I know Hart and Cap both had triple doubles last night, but
First time ever, eh?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Wild.
cool.
First time ever Knicks teammates triple doubles in the same game. Sorry, just had to get that out there.
No, that was good. But they've just looked tired. I mean, honestly, OG Anunoby seems like he's been the most consistent Nick lately, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy to say, right? I mean, he's really factored in from a scoring standpoint. We've talked about him as such a volatile projection, but then now all of a sudden it's 25, 23, 35 by ways of scoring. OG does this. I don't know. This is no science, no math here. I swear OG does this 3 times a year where he just randomly puts together like 350 balls in a row and then he returns back to his 40 minutes, 20 fantasy point output for the next 5 games. And then all of a sudden it happens again a little bit later in the season. It's pretty wild. But
I'll
man,
shout out our guy Magi Carp,
mm-hmm.
because he's the one who called out like anytime a defense throws zone at the Knicks, just roster OG because he's just gonna he like eats zones alive from 3 or whatever.
Okay.
And he's been like dead on that for the last couple of weeks.
That is some absolute ball knower stuff there. Speaking of ball knowers, last night's champ telling us that he had 35% OG. I did notice when I was jamming at lock there that the unabated stuff was really high on OG as well there. So, I mean, fucking unabated guys have been hitting the ball out of the park recently with both the Najee Marshall one last night and with the Denny Avdia stuff from a couple nights ago and then the OG stuff tonight. I'm sure there's many more examples that I'm forgetting mixed in there. Anything else to say on that one, Mike, outside of like, the core 4 for the Knicks and 3.5 for the Clippers? There's nobody else to get to in this one, correct?
No, I like for this game, I don't think I'm like full fading anybody, but I'm also not trying to get super overweight on anybody, especially on the Knicks side. Like I'll click them
Okay.
if they're, or if I could click, I would click them if they were there, but I wouldn't be like going out of my way to roster them. I don't think.
Cool. Have I been lagging at all? Chat, you, anyone?
Not
No?
on my end.
All right. I keep getting that stupid little StreamYard notification that is driving me insane, but I know I'm good or should be good. So it's kind of bizarre. Hopefully the audio's not cutting or anything like that. I'll just fix some stuff before we do the paywall one after, guys, if it is bad. So let me know in the chat, please, and thank you. Halfway through here, Mike, slowest pace on the slate, the second of the tank off bowls here. This is a 214.5 and 2.5 by way of the Brooklyn Nets this evening. Nets and Raptors in this one. We did get an early notification today that this evening D'Angelo Russell has been listed available to go. All the G Leaguers are listed as out, and then Cameron Johnson, D'Anthony Melton, Daron Sharp, and Cam Thomas are listed as out for this evening, which brings some Watford into our lives and the likes of those players. And then from the Raptors side, we have Grady Dick. We have all the usuals. Let me start there. And then we have Chris Boucher, Grady Dick, Emmanuel Quickly, and Jared Roden out here, and Jakob Pertl out this evening. So Yeah. Well, what are we doing with this one? RJ and Scotty Bolway are kind of like the two main Raptors getting drafted. And then the Nets, it's primarily Claxton and D'Lo, and then some other guys mixed in here and there.
The Raptors are just a terrible sweat right now because unless you faded them, because what's funny is like you'll see Scotty Barnes amass like 35 fantasy points in the first half, and then
Yeah.
he's only going to play like 1.5 rotations in the second half. So you're like, oh, all right, like we'll probably max he's going to get like 45 here. So I really don't know how to approach these guys. I mean, I think them with that being without IQ and Pirtle is nice. That gives you a little bit of a safety net there, at least just for like usage in the minutes that they are going to play. But man, it's tough to be like, all right, I'm going to use my second or third round pick on somebody that is like capped out at 28 minutes, right? And you just need them to be super efficient. I think I'd be more interested in the Brooklyn pieces that are cheaper, who are going to be in the same role as the Raptors guys, just 2 rounds later.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I like that shout a lot there. And also, you lose a lot of possessions in this game. So those 24 minutes of Scotty Bolway, or even if he gets up to that 28 mark or whatever that he got up to 2 games ago there, because he's put up back-to-back 50 balls in terms of fantasy points there. They're not created the same in a pace down matchup like this where you're trading away possessions. He could be playing 5-6 fewer possessions than they were playing against the Wizards last time out. And that Wizards game was very interesting because it was homecoming game for IQ. And my God, was IQ trying to get his. They were playing so effing fast, and IQ was just jacking up everything. I think he was 1 for 9 from 3 in the first quarter. So it was just like you could tell they were really trying to fill it up and score and get him his. I don't imagine there's the same urgency this evening unless I'm missing out on some Jamal Sheed narrative this evening or some shit.
And I mean, Scotty, who again can do this all the time, so it's not like this is a complete like anomaly. But 15 of those 51 points the other night against the Wizards came from stocks, and like
Right.
that. And Washington, they love to turn that ball over. And I just again, like you said, in a much slower paced environment, you're less likely to get those opportunities. And again, that's a heavy price tag for someone playing 28 minutes.
Absolutely. Well said there. Oh, Nick's going full Nick's bro on us. RJ adjacent. He's adjacent to the garden, so RJ's gonna be feeling it.
I love that. That's like neighborhood revenge night. RJ in Brooklyn, Harden in the garden.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. Yeah, there's gonna be someone from this game is going to be relevant on this slate. I just don't know that I'm going to be the guy who ends up having him in my lineup. I'm fine with D'Lo when he falls. I'm fine with Claxton when he falls a little bit, that sort of thing. But in terms of the Raptors side, I mean, I think I've only clicked RJ once or twice. I've been kind of soft fading Scotty and pushing up. I was pushing up like the Jaylen Brown, who was behind him, over him this morning. Any love for like Orlando Robinson or Mobo or something like that in the last round, where it's like, hey, we know they got rates at least at times.
Yeah, I just don't trust. I don't know who's important to this Toronto team, and it just seems like whoever's doing well will not play the fourth quarter, and that makes me nervous. And I think like when you get to that range, I would just hope, like I think I'd rather get RJ falling to the 6th round and click him than trying to like make my case for Rob or Mogbo or whoever. I'm not to say that they can't get there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so thin. On the net side there, you kind of alluded to you would catch a falling net before you would take the Raptor or something like that. Is it just D'Lo and Claxton, or is there any reason to think that we could get extended run from like Watford or Zaire Williams this evening, Keon Johnson, who's more of a handling role when Cam Johnson isn't around?
Let me hold on one second. I'm just gonna look at the standings here to see how far. I mean, the Raptor, like Brooklyn, probably does want to lose this game. They don't need Toronto to catch them because they have like a 2-game loss lead on the Raptors. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe you could talk yourself into a Watford. I don't think I would do it. I think there are better options over there. Like, I guess let me throw this at you. Would you rather try to figure out the Sixers or the Nets?
Sixers.
Yeah.
just because of the total and the pace up environment and whatever. Like I'd rather take a dart throw on Ricky Council that nobody's taking right now because
Mhm.
everybody's taking Butler and everybody's taking Edwards. Like I'd rather throw a dart at Ricky Council in the last round or AJ Johnson or something like that, opposed to trying to find who the third net is this evening.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Okay, cool. We can move on from this one. It is the least attractive game on the slate. I think we're both in lockstep here. All right, this one's been crazy. The Bucks, we had some Windhursts up this morning for anyone who was paying attention to the line movement in this one, that Giannis was most likely not going to be going because of where the price initially opened up at. 4, 5, stuff like this in the early eve of yesterday, and now all of a sudden the pendulum swung all the way the other way with this Joker upgrade from a doubtful tag to a Q tag. Let's start with the Bucks side here first as I read off the injury report. No Giannis, no Dame. Dame's got this blood clot thing that I guess
Scary.
that came up yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind with that one is why am I Chris Bosch.
Oh
That's
yeah.
like the first guy who I was. Why am I blanking on his name right now? That's like the first guy who comes up to mind who like dealt with that at the tail end of his career, and it was awful. Like he just had no idea when he was going to be coming back, and that sort of deal. So all the best. Hopefully Dame's okay because he's such an intricate part of this game and so fun to
Well,
watch.
I saw
Yeah.
some reporting that I don't really understand. Like some of the reporters from the Athletic were making it sound like positive that they might get him back before the regular season, and that feels like some serious wish casting. Like we saw Asar Thompson miss a year. We saw Wemby obviously got shut down and should be ready to go for the start of next year. I don't really understand the hope that he'd miss like a week. There's only like 10 games left in the season. I don't know. I don't understand how he'd be ready for the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, not a doctor, obviously, but yeah, that does seem extremely bullish
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I'm just hitting on this for 1 second. Austin asking, I've seen him ask a couple times, do bonus bets work for contests or just pick'ems? That is, if it's bonus cash that is in your account, you can use it. If it is because of a failed pick'em or something like that, and you just have like that bonus applicable token, it has to be applied to pick'ems. That's how I would answer that. But if you have bonus funds that are non-withdrawable bonus funds in your account, those can be used for either. Um, Okay, lost my train of thought there for a half second, but we're back. Yeah, let's just talk about the Bucks first as like a standalone entity. I put Brooke Lopez on the cover after I had Tatum on the cover the last 2 days, and maybe now it would have been more appropriate to have left Tatum on the cover.
Take
But
the victory lap if it happens.
yeah, I'll switch the cover back in and been like how far ahead of the times we were. Um, but I put Brook Lopez on it because it was kind of funny. The picture was kind of funny, and he was a little bit of a riser in the rooms earlier this afternoon after Giannis had been ruled out there. So yeah, thoughts on what we could get from the Bucks tonight, and would you be interested in pushing them up or getting them at ADP? I will bring up the ADPs, which are kind of fake right now for
Yeah.
you. But yes.
I mean, the bigs have just been decimating Denver lately, and both with or without Jokic. So I am very interested in Brook Lopez. I think that was a smart cover boy. I like the Brolo a lot. Man, I just like don't trust Kuzma right now, even though this is a great spot. And if you're all of a sudden taking fourth round Kuz, I want to throw up. Like I do not want to do that. I know this slate is gross enough that maybe you should be. But I don't know. I think I'd probably be more interested in Kevin Porter Jr. than Kuzma.
Woo, woo,
I
don't
know.
say it.
It feels gross,
No,
man.
I'm in lockstep with you. I think this is a classic spot where the projections are going to alter starkly, and like the projection pros who are jamming at lock are going to see the projection of Kevin Porter Jr. and he's going to project 15 spots higher than his ADP. But I do think if we get Kevin Porter Jr. drawing into the starting lineup, I would rather have him than Kuzma straight up this evening. Now, it's not a given that we get him drawing into the starting lineup because they have done some funky stuff in the past. Even with Giannis there, they were doing like the Ryan Rollins thing for a while here.
Defense.
Yeah. So I think we could potentially see Rollins, Green, Prince, Kuzma, Lopez, and then some combination of Kevin Porter Jr. and Gary Trent are the first guys up. And then you hope one of them close, most likely Kevin Porter Jr. to close, who has closed over Ryan Rollins multiple times here. But if you could tell me, even if he doesn't start, I get 30 minutes from Kevin Porter Jr. or I get 28 minutes from Kevin Porter Jr. in the 6th round, I think I'd still be clicking his name tonight.
Yeah, and I think if this stays as a 6th round pick, right? I think if this game is close, Kevin Porter, it's not because, but Kevin Porter Jr. had a good game. And if this game is a blowout, I still think Kevin Porter Jr. is going to play a lot of minutes. And
Yes.
that's like when I look at guys around him, like Gary Trent Jr., like Kuzma. I mean, Brolo is the exception because I think, has an actual ceiling. But those other guys, I'm like, they're not. Like Torian Prince, Porter, like I said, Gary Trent Jr. Like, I just think, I don't know. KPJ's got a chance to play 35 minutes more so than anybody else that's listed for the Bucks, I think.
Okay, cool.
35 high. Let's say 30 minutes.
35. Yeah. We like hyperbole around here. We like to get excited about these things, about bad guys like Kevin Porter Jr.
Oh, God.
Ricky Lee asking, what if Gary Trent Jr. sinks 8 threes? Well, then he will still be outscored by 6th round Jason Tatum by 20 fantasy points.
Well, I was gonna say, if he sinks 8 threes and all you need is 24 fantasy points, then you're good, because that's what he's gonna get you.
Nice. Hat tip to Gary Trent Jr., who took down a slate for Nez earlier this year with a similar set of circumstances to this evening. We got the absolute alpha coming through from Josh here. Philip Wheeler signs a 10-day with Philly. So Okokie, imagine that means he's out, Wheeler in. I have no idea who the fuck Philip Wheeler is.
I swear to God, as you started talking about that, I was like, oh, I didn't know they did 10 days in baseball. I thought it was like, oh, Zach Wheeler's bro? He got called up by the Phillies?
Let's check out what a Philip Wheeler looks like.
White guy from Colgate? He plays some Ivy League ball?
Yeah, guaranteed. He, on Basketball Reference, he does not even have a picture. He does not even have a picture. So I don't know, guys. I don't know much about Philip Wheeler here. He most recently was waived by the T-Wolves in 2022.
Well, the good news is
he's born in New Jersey. He was born football player.
He was born in New Jersey, so he can draft. That's good for Philip.
Oh, nice. Oh, man. Yeah, guys, I don't know. Philip Wheeler, I'm not sure I know anything about this Philip Wheeler here.
He's my 3rd favorite 6th round pick behind Tatum and Kevin Porter Jr. now.
Here you go. Unpaid G League practice player to G League star.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Here we go. This is the alpha we need.
All right.
My God, I can't click on any of his stuff and watch his videos because I'm not logged into Instagram.
35 and 10, 57%. Although I am nervous when field goal percentage becomes the 3rd part of the graphic. That makes me nervous. Like, I feel like they were like, we need a 3rd thing. Yeah. and he had 0 dimes.
He had 0 dimes. He had 0 dimes and he had 8 turnovers. So what else can we put on this graphic? This is good. Philip Wheeler, 32-5 with 1 steal. You got to get that 1 stock on there. So, guys, he's got some stock upside tonight. I highly doubt he is in our player pool, or I don't know. I would never say not in the Sixers rotation, but if all things break right, he would just be like blowout run 10-minute guy. But famous last words from me there. That was a fun little rabbit hole to go down.
That was great.
I think we've said it all on the Bucks there, unless there's any love for, I don't know. Can you play Ryan Rollins in the last round if he starts and we get like 30 minutes from him?
I mean, I feel like we've seen a couple of 40-point games from him this year. So
Mhm.
like fantasy points.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't want a ton of it, but honestly, I feel like that's a better. No, I was gonna say swap, but there's really not a lot of swap options. I mean, like swap eligible guys. So I don't think I would do that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe a couple of dabs on it, but I wouldn't go too nuts with Rollins.
Yeah, I think I would rank it KPJ, Kuzma, Trent, Rollins. But
Yeah,
Kuzma's going to project the best of the bunch.
for sure. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's move on here to the Nuggets side. Obviously, we've talked at nauseum about this Joker situation. Let's just maybe talk about like the push pull dynamics of now the new Q tag on the auxiliary Nuggets pieces. Does DeAndre Jordan just basically become undraftable at this point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You don't need to
Um,
do that.
Russell Westbrook with this ADP at 24, it should be closer to 34, should it not?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like you could, I would still be very interested in Russ in the 6th round. Tough to take him at pick 24, I think.
Okay. Thoughts on Jamal Murray, who's had a couple really nice games there with DeAndre Jordan at the 5 there in a lead handling role there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm still fine with that. Because like what he's going ahead of Porzingis, Grimes, Zubac. I mean, you could make a case of moving Big Z ahead of him now, um, if you wanted to, and then Harden if you think he's going to go. I think I'd be fine with that ahead of Jamal. But I still think I'm comfortable taking Jamal Murray over like Porzingis, and again, Quentin Grimes is a huge question mark for me of like how much he's actually going to play. And it's not
Yeah.
like Murray can't get 50 fantasy points with Jokic playing.
Yeah, especially if Jokic is somehow limited in some capacity to like 25, 26, 27 minutes. Like eerily similar situation to what we were dealing with Anthony Davis the other day, where he comes out, he gets the D tag to Q tag, then he gets the go ahead, their front end of a back to back. That's a little bit different than the Nuggets scenario this evening. And then we come out and Coach Kidd goes, "Hey, yeah, he's going to have a minutes cap of 28." And on the show, I said 24. So 28 was like bullish, and it goes, holy fuck, the models are going to love him
Mm-hmm.
tonight. Let's push him up to, 9, 10 by the end of drafting and jamming at lock. And the projection bros took an absolute bath because real life basketball comes into play. And all of a sudden, he only plays 24 and a bit and he isn't there from a full rates perspective. So,
Right.
yeah, I'm not saying that's what could happen with Joker this evening, but it's within range of outcomes.
Yeah, and I do think there's a case to move Jamal back a little bit and then just hope you can get some later Jamal and that if,
Yeah.
just get some value on it because I do still think in that range I like him a little bit more than those guys. So, and again, the Milwaukee matchup like even if he only plays barely 30 minutes because of a blowout, it's probably because he cooked.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Any lean on the Michael Porter Q, which is one that is new that we haven't been dealing with, and then the Aaron Gordon one who missed last game with the same ailment, which is listed as right calf and left ankle for Aaron Gordon, who hadn't really been playing back to backs prior to coming back there, but yeah, so he's got that designation, and then Michael Porter Jr. has lower back sprain here. Should we be drafting them? Are they not touchable with the Joker upgrade? What are we thinking?
Yeah, I think with the Joker upgrade, that makes me think one of them, if not both of them, are sitting tonight. Like that gives me real concern that Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon is not going to sit. And I just don't. I think I like guys better in that range than MPJ and Gordon. If Jokic is a go and they're a go, that because that kind of nukes everybody. If they're all
Right.
healthy, yeah, I don't think you can play anybody but Joker or Jamal tonight.
Cool. Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. They're kind of like only swap viable options. If we end up getting like the inverse happens, the super hoops happens, which would be Joker upgrade, Joker Q tag, Joker then downgrade, swap in Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr. at that
Yeah,
point.
I'm trying to think when is Porter Jr. hasn't missed a game in a while, right? So, but
Yeah, it was the set before this. that he
Okay.
missed like 2 or 3, and it was after he went nuke in 2 games where he set that new career high for points in a game and had like 65 fantasy points and broke a slate. And then he played on a Q tag the next time out and played quite well again. And then he sat like 2 or 3.
Okay. Because I mean, listen, if you have a lean, and I don't, but if you have a lean that you're like, oh, I don't think Gordon is going to play, I think it's fine to then grab Michael Porter Jr. or vice versa. I just don't think if you personally think they're going to be full go, I don't think you should be drafting those guys at that price, anyways.
Yeah, I share the same. I echo said sentiments there. All right, let's talk about the last one on the slate here. The late night hammered there in Phoenix, nationally televised game on ESPN. This is a 220.5 and 5 points by way of the Celtics. Everybody in the chat earlier had their Winhursts up about Tatum at shoot around and the newfound potential of another D tag in our life becoming relevant. If you want to go that route, by all means. I'm not going to say I won't do that because I definitely have been known to light $25 on fire a time or two by taking some D tags in the 6th round there. So I might do it from a game theory perspective, but not financial advice. Do as I say, not as I do kind of scenario. So for all intents purpose for this conversation, let's treat Tatum's doubtful tag as an out tag, but acknowledge the fact that it is in fact a doubtful tag. And then on the Phoenix Suns side, they're just still without Bradley Beal and the G Leaguers. Everything outside of Tatum and Beal is pretty clean on this one. Let's start with the Celtics side there, Mike. What are your thoughts on Zinger and Jaylen Brown at ADP, who came back last game against Sacramento? They're obviously still on this tough road trip.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing it with that Tatum's out, and that was Jaylen Brown's first game back, and everybody is just box score watching a little bit, I'd be very happy to get overweight on JB in this matchup. I mean, Phoenix, I know Phoenix is playing much better lately, and they held Milwaukee to like 106 points the other night. They're not good at defense. I think that was more of an indictment on Doc Rivers and the Bucks offense than it was the Suns defense. I would want as much of this as possible, especially like the games we just outlined, man. Like, there's 4 or 5 teams not trying to play basketball tonight, and these teams are. And I think Porzingis is in a smash spot, so I'm fine with that. Jaylen Brown's in a great spot. And then I like Derek White. I love if you think Tatum's not going for real, I think Derek White's fine. But I almost wouldn't mind messing around with little Drew Holiday in the 6th round. I feel like this could be a matchup that he exposes. And I know his ceiling sucks, man. You don't get there a lot, but this is one of those matchups where I could see him just being a nightmare for the Phoenix, who's running out of backcourt of my guy Colin Gillespie and Devin Booker these days. So yeah, I don't know. Do you have a lean on I feel like you'll probably feel similarly to me about Porzingis and Brown, but the Celtics backcourt.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel similarly with these guys. I was pushing them up early this morning, treating Tatum as out. I was soft fading Derek White because it's a classic dude like Miles Turner, where it's like I play them when they're cheap. I don't play them when they're expensive. It just like is a easy, mid band of mean projection that I think I can find elsewhere. So I was mixing in a little bit of Peyton Pritchard in the last round there, who he can fill it up from 3 at a moment's notice. He drew into the starting lineup in that Blazers game because it was a hometown game and blah, 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 and had 3 quick ones. I love the ceiling potential of Peyton Pritchard in the last round, but I don't expect him to start tonight. So, I mean, 28, 30 minutes of Peyton Pritchard in this matchup in the last round is probably better than like some of those auxiliary pieces we were talking about with the Nets and that sort of thing. So I really like your Drew Holiday shout here as a potential, second unit lead handler coupled with defensive presence. He mixes in 3 stocks and gets up more shots than usual because Tatum isn't there. He could matter in the 6th in a big way. That is a guy that I will be scrolling the F down to now that you have brought it up. Outside of that, yeah, I'll probably be like light on White, a little bit over on Pritchard, and then I don't play Horford ever when Zinger is in, basically. Yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and I like to be clear too, because I know you mentioned Pritchard in the chat a little bit too. I definitely think Peyton Pritchard's ceiling is higher than Drew Holiday for sure. Like I'm not arguing that. I just like Peyton Pritchard's getting drafted just about every time, and I think Drew's barely getting drafted. So I like the idea of just sprinkling some of that in. It just because it's again one of those situations where you're playing the Phoenix Suns team, which elevates everybody's ceiling. So I think a bunch of those guys could get 50 tonight.
Love it. Yeah, great shout. Let's talk about the Sun side there. You have the usual suspects, Durant and Booker, who are going at the top there. They keep going flip flop, snap, snip, snap on whose ceiling a performance comes on any given night. Obviously, we know Boston is tough against catch and shoot, and we know that they are tough in terms of defensive matchup, but not as tough as they once were. Yeah, that could maybe change a little bit this evening if Tatum is in and or out there. But just thoughts on these two versus one another. It's been Durant as of recent, and then can you get to literally anyone else on this Suns team in the last round?
No, you can't. The Celtics are so good defending against bigs, especially now with Porzingis back too. So you can't really get to Nick Richards. I'm not interested. Like, you can't pay me to play any of the other guys. Like, Tyus
Okay.
Jones lost some minutes to Gillespie. Ryan Dunn's good at defense. I just it's 2025. I'm not playing Grayson Allen either or Royce
Right.
O'Neal. I don't think.
Dude, Grayson Allen showing some big time grays out there on the court there.
He is,
Yeah.
man. He is.
He's salt and pepper machine.
He saw Kevin Love and he said, "Hold my beer. I got this."
Nice.
I think in this matchup I want KD more so than Book. Not that Book can't get there against the White Holiday combo, but I'd much prefer KD, right?
Yeah. No, I agree with you this evening as well. I like the idea of the KD matchup opposed to Booker going against those renowned tough on ball defenders.
And if no
That
Tatum too, that's like one less wing defender, right?
yeah.
It just
Yeah,
makes life easier for KD.
give me some switches for KD to get onto Sam Hauser and do a little work.
There you go.
Yeah. That's it, Mike. We have done it. I think it's time we hop in a draft here, see what it looks like, because the ADP right now is absolute hot mess dumpster fire. Let's hop in and see what happens here.
Wow. Oh my God. Tuna in the chat saying our guy Rafi is a full-time DH this season.
Ooh, that's what they always wanted to happen. So
That's not what he wanted to happen, right?
that's not what he wanted to happen. Yeah, that's what everybody else on the planet wanted to happen. But yeah, because everybody wanted Christian Campbell to make the team, which he has, and play second base, and then they didn't want to have to move Bregman from third base because Rafi's a bad defender, limited range, and yeah,
It's fun because he makes like 5 plays a year where you're like, whoa, but
yeah,
it's
might still have it, might still have it.
he boots so many balls.
Yeah. JCam in the chat saying it is a Bona ceiling night. Matching size with Alex Sarr going toe to toe there. Any love for the Bona ceiling night?
I just haven't gotten the Sixers right once. Like I don't
Yeah.
I when I've rostered Bona, he's played like 9 minutes and all of a sudden Drummond goes for like 65 or something. And then I get on Drummond and they're like, he's not playing for the rest of the year. So I don't know. Are you getting any Bona?
I have my third eye open now that I'm reading that, but I think I still would rather the handling guys.
Yeah, I think so too. What are you doing? I know I talked about where I'd take Jokic. Are you taking him at 3 now?
I'd take him at 3 right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can make a case. We don't even get the decision there.
That's beautiful. I'd rather somebody take the decision out of my hands. Like, yeah, sure,
Fair enough.
LeBron it is.
Yeah, and I do think I don't know. Our guy Mike was in the chat there and was dropping some alpha about this media tour that LeBron is on as they're on this long road trip in such a tough part of the schedule for them. I don't know. That's like the human element of basketball and media, and is this his farewell tour kind of vibes thing there? I don't know if there's anything to read into it for how he plays after stuff like that. But
yeah,
they have
that McAfee appearance was crazy.
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw him on there this afternoon, and I did see the Windhurst quote. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, we went at Windhorst. Went at all right. Well, are you taking? I was just gonna ask, would you go Murray, Zubac, or anybody else over Book, or do you just go Book here?
I would go Book. I still think I like Book enough to be in this tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went at Windhorse at Stephen A. Talked about Michael Jordan. I don't know. He wasn't drunk, but it felt like he could have been like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where he's just riffing with the boys,
Yeah,
like
just a
just like
lot of chatting.
I would love to see like little like Braun wind up and like just like talking like fully unfiltered, like just like fuck man, Jordan wasn't even that good. Like just watching like highlights and shit. It's like, I could have done this shit in my
Well,
sleep. Look at these fucking guys he's playing against. Like I would
I,
love like an unfiltered one
yeah,
like that.
that's literally what he did today. He was like, Giannis would have dropped 250 on Dr. J. 250.
I don't think he's wrong.
No, you know what? He saw
250.
he saw Dame got hurt, and he was like, I bet we could get Giannis to Milwaukee next year.
Nice. I think this is where both you and I are in lockstep that we push up Jaylen Brown, get a little
Yeah.
game correlation, do it over Scotty Bolway in the pace down game.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And then I think we can start throwing ADP out the window because these middling rounds are kind of ugly here. I guess the guy we kind of glossed over and didn't talk about is Reeves. Kind of shocked to see him go at 16 here. He was a faller earlier in the day there. I mean, it is obviously a good pace up spot versus the Pacers there, and he's playing big minutes. There's no reason that he can't get home with both Luka and Braun there, but I mean, I don't really see it when he's getting drafted 100% of the time.
No, I'm not taking him before some of the guys that just went, like Josh Hart, and I even said I don't really like Scotty, but I like Scotty more than Austin, and I love Austin Reeves. I just think that's a little too early. You see Brooke Lopez there, pick 17, spicy.
Yeah, that's kind of like the new
ADP.
alpha. Yeah, the new ADP there. I think we could do the OG thing if we wanted a piece of the Knicks now that we know that Miles is out for sure. I think the models will tell us to take Kuz here, but I think you and I were both kind of out on that. Is OG your favorite?
Yeah, I think so. OG is my favorite.
Okay. I know like the Clippers isn't like the most desirable spot in the world. Do we have any alpha on whether they play zone?
I don't think so. I don't think they're a zone team.
Okay.
Wait, Miles Turner got ruled out? Did you say that? Did I miss that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, man, I think I misheard you. I think I misheard you. I know you said now. Oh, Miles McBride. You said Miles.
Miles McBride. I probably misspoke. I fucking
No, you didn't. You said Miles, but I was
everything.
staring at Miles Turner's name, and I was like,
Got
oh
it.
shit.
Yeah. I misspeak like 5 times a show here. There was another one earlier where I think I said Josh Okogie instead of Okiki. Yeah, okay. I said Okogie instead of Okiki when we were talking about that.
Our guy Chuma.
Yeah.
Where would you take Russ now?
6th round only, I think. Yeah. I mean, even like, so everybody propped him up and the models propped him up because they thought they were going to play small, especially in that Bulls game. But then Gordon ended up getting ruled out because I thought they were going to play small for sure. Like I thought they would play Gordon versus Vooch at the 5. Then they'd put Russ and he'd draw into the starting lineup. Like he hasn't been starting when they've done this traditional 5 kind of thing.
Yeah.
We could start thinking about Peyton Pritchard here. We can do Claxton or D'Lo. We could pick one of the Philly guys that we like. We could do Kevin Porter Jr.
I think either D'Lo or one of the Philly guys. I'd give you your pick.
All right, let's do Edwards then.
Yeah. And I was gonna say Peyton Pritchard, but I think Ricky's right, man. We're setting up for a 2-1 correlation of Celtics and Suns. We're gonna get the 2 big wings.
We're playing the GD hits tonight, baby.
Oh wait, did it get moved up to Q?
There's no way. Oh my! No, guys, no. That's no.
Oh yeah, he's questionable. Yeah,
bro, come on, catch a wig, buddy.
My man, sorry, I was refreshing. Oh, Mathology, dude. Hey, you know what? I hope Mathology wins all the money today, man. He called that in the chat. I made fun of him as fast as I could. I will say, the way Mathology put it in the chat, he did make it seem like he was covering the Celtics today. So that's right.
Wow. The chat is absolutely all over the alpha today. Ricky ahead of his time. Oh my God. Mathology with the hand on the hardwood alpha. Wow. Shout out to the community. Community fucking killed it today. Broke the slate. This is crazy.
You know who's logging in right now is Buster Boys. Buster Boys
Yeah.
is logging in right now and ripping.
Yeah, Buster Boys just put the ranks in and boom, Tatum at 23 over and over again.
Yeah. What about Storm and Norman here?
Yeah, I'm good with it. Yeah, we
Oh,
we play the inverse. We play the Harden out narrative, and we get a little CLV on Norman Powell in the last round.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay.
I did see Russ was still there, and I think you're right. Russ is an excellent click at that point.
Yeah, I think he's a good click in the last round there because he can get it done in limited minutes, and there's a way that this could still break very right for Russ. Like, if you get a couple of these Q tags breaking the wrong way and he draws into the starting lineup, yeah, this is crazy alpha right here where it's like,
Oh my god.
man, those Giannis to Joker swaps and then Harden to Tatum teams.
Wow.
This is wild, man. Good shit to Mathology there. Got a Luca plus Tatum in the first draft earlier. Ricky Lee laughing at us for getting our Bub Carrington shares in the last round when we could have had fucking Tatum with the B tag.
I know.
This is truly the sickest of 6 slates, man.
I know nobody cares about double dribble except for the people in New York right now. But Tatum playing tonight is pretty spicy for this, and because we've got one more week after this. But with Giannis missing some games, Jokic hasn't really played at all this week. Tatum being like one of the few first rounders that are going to get multiple games this week, I do think that could help. To shout out our guy Peter Overzet, flip the slate on its head.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you were speaking to it last week when you were talking about the sweat right now, where it was like getting multiple weeks of the wings there was like the biggest thing right now. That
yeah, it's like whoever you have, everybody's got Miles Bridges that's competing right now. I think it's like whoever you have paired up with Miles Bridges. So my one that's like got a little life in it, desperately needed Harden and Tatum to play tonight. So hopefully.
Yeah. Ricky Lee, who is sitting cozy in the catbird seat with all his winning lineups right now, throws us a bone from the rafters here that he just says, you know what, guys? I think Tatum in the 4th and the 5th could still maybe be optimal. Like, yeah, thanks, bud. Thanks. Yes, we got no Tatum bags. You got all the bags. We got it.
Although I will say we probably victory lap too hard, and this ends up being at like 9:58 p.m. Eastern. They're like, Tatum's gonna sit this one out.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, these upgrades from doubtfuls to Qs on a slate that looked so clean this morning. Like it looked so clean. It was like, oh, all the stars got ruled out yesterday. Like, oh yeah, this is a Luka Bronze slate. Like, all right, it's so clean. And now it's turned into one of the craziest slates of the year. Let's do it. Let's do the Joker at 2 thing.
Yeah.
Let's just type in Joker. Sure, that should work.
Take Jokic here. I honestly, I thought you were going to type in Tatum when you started saying, like, let's do
it. full bid equity. Now Tatum's the 102.
Think about how unique the roster would be, though.
Yeah, we fully flipped the board. Yeah, these, I mean, oh my God, Zinger at 4. Here we go. We're having some fun out here tonight. This guy didn't get the Tatum notification.
No, he's probably somewhere on Basketball Reference being like, actually, the on-off numbers show that Porzingis has a much higher ceiling if Tatum's on the floor.
So this guy just ran all the S words on the splits. As soon as Tatum Q tag upgrade, he was like, yeah, fuck this. I'm full upgrades. There you go. Mathology. Buster Boys in every room right now. That's spot on. Going in the 2nd round right now. Yeah.
Is Buster Boys a badge, bro? Does he hang?
I think he's a lurker. I think he's around. But I have never spoken. Okay. He is one of the ones I'm still looking to track down. There's a lot of guys who have told us that they are full-time lurkers. And then have told me in the comfort of real life presence that, like, like JT McKenzie, for years we were hyping him. We were like, yo, this guy's one of the best players on the site. And he's like, oh, buddy, I've been watching since like the very beginning. Like, I've always been there. And like, he'll pop in ever so often in the chat now and just like say like GM or something like that. But he's, there were guys like this, like Sam Wilson right now. He's not talking in the chat today because his hands are too busy with both dingers and hoops. But like he's watching right now. Like all the OGs they're hanging out. There you go. JT McKenzie, GMGM, right on cue, baby. There he is.
That's a stronger person than me. If you were hyping me up, I'd be in the chat every day. Well, hey, what's up, guys? Like every day.
Okay, let's do it. We'll be the Tatum guys. We'll take Tatum with Joker here and dare you to run against those Giannis swaps.
This is undefeated lineup right here.
This is so sick.
You get the second and third best picks at 2 and 11.
Yeah, right. Who do you like here? I guess Zubac's kind of the end of a tier for us now with how we feel about Scotty, and obviously we don't feel the same about Jalen all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think I would like Z here. I honestly Z or you could make a case. I don't think we should do it, but I kind of like Spicy P tonight. I feel like we get a Siakam game.
Okay. I like that. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with his box scores because he's never had a stock in his entire life. But
he's taken after our guy Philip Wheeler, baby.
Third category for Siakam when Underdog makes the graphics is always field goal percentage.
Yeah, it's just minutes played.
Minutes played. Oh my god! Oh shoot! This has been fun.
Yeah, it's been a good one. Have another kid, Nez. I'll keep hanging out on Wednesdays.
Yeah. This has been very good. Ricky Lee also, sharing one last piece of alpha that I do think is pretty important, and it does apply to the Joker stuff as well. Because when I was selecting Joker earlier, it was D-tag Joker because the site hadn't pivoted. So my teams that are third round Joker teams, D-tag Joker, and obviously don't have Tatum. I do think this is a very good point that Tatum Q tag now is very different than Tatum D tag previously. That's why he's not available in the sixth anymore because of the swap ability. And same can be said about Jokic right now.
We all remember that Embiid slate, baby.
Exactly. Yes. The infamous Embiid slate where, your boy right here had all the Embiid in all of the land and it didn't matter. Had all the D tag Embiid, thought I was the sharpest guy in the world. And lost so much money that night.
Do you remember that Wemby slate too, where he was ruled out, then questionable, and then they ruled him out again?
Oh yeah, right. He went all the way up to like available almost, and then it was like they're
like JK LOL.
Yeah. Yes, Mike is hitting the nail on the head. This is so unhinged. Sam Olsen, I told you, he's just busy drafting dingers. Yeah, Johnny Football saying he's always watching.
There we go.
Oh man, yeah, we got a full-fledged hoops on our hands today, guys. I think Turner's kind of like a tier. I think I could also pound the table for Kyle Kuzma here.
Yeah, I'd be okay with Kuzma here. I know I've been pretty anti-Kuz, but if you remember last week, all of the guys that I was anti was in your winning 8K lineup. I was like, we get a fade Bam, fade Zion.
Oh man. There's also a good reminder. I was going to say it on the MLB show and I'll say it again later. There's a token right now for MLB Split the Pot, 500K up for grabs tomorrow in the Pick'em lobbies on Underdog, where we just go ahead and pick the longest home run tomorrow. My only piece of advice, don't make a chalk selection where you're splitting, $5 a million different ways here. Go off the board and take someone who's a big beefy baseball boy who could hit one far and just pray that there's only 22 homers on opening day instead of 45 and you happen to win with the 430-foot bomb from Alejandro Kirk and ship that pot on your lonesome there. So that would be my only piece of advice.
Underdog's doing a longest dong contest?
Yes, a classic longest dog. Unfortunately, they had to instantly rule me out. They said, no, sir, this is like Gilbert Arenas promo here. Mike,
Man.
let's not fuck up this team.
Yeah. Shit. My
D'Lo.
bad. Yeah, D'Lo or RJ, I would have said,
Okay.
but I like
Let's do.
D'Lo.
I think RJ was probably a better pick. But I was just thinking about dongs, and we ended up with D'Lo.
Is Gil still grinding the NBA contest? He was the.
Oh yeah,
Is he?
he's got 10K to play through right now. He's got 10K bonus cash from the dog bowl to play through. So he's out here in the lobbies. He was out in the puck streets the other night.
Jesus Christ,
dude, he's a real one.
Puck is crazy. Only because I feel like NBA, he's probably like, I follow this, I could do it. Maybe he does follow Puck, but I like the idea that he's got some subscription to some Puck projections.
Yeah, like he's got a puck luck like a sub where it's like the site has like 250 subs and he's one of them. Like it's so sweet. Yeah. Here you go. Chris saying that Gil's in the three-man $100 at midnight last night. That's so good.
God, that's T-Buck shit right there.
That is T-Buck shit. Yeah, I mean, we're all just kind of the same when it all boils down. We just want to be drafted with the boys.
Oh, that's sick though. I love that he's doing that.
Okay, we could get funky with this one. I'm trying to think of like things that the Joker, Harden, Giannis, or Luka, Joker, Tatum, like those teams that are going to swap in to Tatum and Joker. I'm thinking who they couldn't have or wouldn't have in the last round here.
What about KPJ here with the little 2-1?
My man.
Yeah.
That is all I was thinking. I'm so glad you said it instead of me. Let's get the baddest of bad boys on this roster to fucking sink this ship immediately.
Oh man, I hate that man. I drafted him. I think I have like 20% of him in the double dribble this year of KPJ.
Oh yeah,
just a stupid amount.
Dude,
I still can't believe Tatum is a Q tag.
I know, me neither. This is so sick. This is so nasty. Mike, I think we should call it there, man. I think we should call the show there. I'm going to jump over to the paywall. If you guys hang out here, you guys are going to be redirected over there. I have 15 dingers left, I think 16, 15, something like that. I got to get them all done tonight. Then I got to do some dailies. Then I got to make sure I get my hoop stuff in here as the projections come out. This is a truly sick day on the platform. I'm going to be pounding some coffee. I'm going to be staying up late to make sure I get this done because 150, Mike, it fucking means something to me.
Let's go, man. I will be sweating through you. I will be sweating through you this baseball season. And I would like to end the episode like we started it. Congratulations to Underdog and the $1 billion. Just shave off a little and throw it to the state of New York so we can get back in. All right.
It's like Jeremy, $30. It's like $30, right?
Oh, I love that Rudman's paying attention to the OG drafters. Well, how about the OG states in New York? Let's give New York, get Mayor Eric Adams off. Also, I made an Eric Adams joke when this happened, and I can't tell you how many people were like, "You actually know the mayor's not responsible for state." Yes, I fucking know.
I'm fully aware.
I fucking know.
Yeah, we're fully aware that Numi doesn't fuck up every single pick'em line for us. We fully know this, but Numi is the scapegoat around here, just as Mayor Adams.
That's right. That's right. Mayor Adams and Numi is the new Spider-Man meme. That's the new.
Oh, Mike, way too much fun, man. Shout out to Kid Cudi for joining up and being a member, and shout out to our guy Justin Long. Took down the prize last night. Unabated's finest. Anyone who is a recipient of that new membership is going to get automatically pushed over there. All this talk about dongs, I have to go relieve myself prior to us drafting dongs in the Dinger Streets there. Guys, consider signing up at Unabated. Do their projections. I am not one to shill. Their projections have been on fucking fire. And my results and Justin's results alone speak volumes to that over the last 2 weeks because we are avid users of the platform. Use promo code BADGE at sign up. Hopefully, maybe even some baseball stuff in the future there. Who knows? Maybe not this season, maybe next season. I'm hearing some rumors though. But yes, Mike, always a pleasure, bro. Check out the NBA bit with Mike. Check out the Elite Fantasy Hoops there. Go join up, become a member over there. Any final words for the people, my friend?
No, man. Thanks for having me on. It's good to be back, and I look forward to some sort of tweet with a screenshot going out in about 8 hours from now, where you take down another contest that I co-host.
Damn right, brother. Damn right. And you are gonna see exactly $0 from that. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.
See you guys.